I read 10 things in the month of July. I read 2 novellas, 4 graphic novels, and 4 regular books. Most of that is due to Booktubeathon, so I'm going to slide over to the side so I can insert the picture and let's get started. I'm going to start first with my graphic novels. Coming in as my least favorite book of this month would have to be Fun Home by Alison Bechtel. I gave it 2 stars. It was just okay. I didn't hate it, didn't like it. I just felt blah about it the whole time I was reading it. And it is a graphic memoir all about Alison Bechtel's fraught relationship with her father. I think if you're someone who's into classic literature, you would really love this book because that was the one thing that tied Allison and her father together, their love for reading and mostly reading classics, it seems. And so a lot of the books that are shown in the graphic novel and talked about and people that they talk about just went over my head, to be perfectly honest. But I think my real issue with this graphic novel was that I felt no connection to it. I think maybe the problem is that you have to read Are You My Mother and Fun Home kind of one after the other. And Are You My Mother is her graphic memoir about her relationship with her mother. Okay, so the next and pretty much all of my graphic novels are Saga Volumes 1 through 3 by Brandon Cavine and Fiona Staples. This is a story about two people who were forbidden to be together. They fall in love and produce a child, and now the whole galaxy is out to kill them. The dialogue is amazing. The pictures, oh my God, they are so beautiful. There would be sometimes where it would take me extremely long to read this graphic novel because I would just sit and look at the pictures. They are so beautiful. And I love the fact that the daughter is the one telling the story, and it is very hyped on BookTube and it deserves it. I cannot wait to continue with this story. Okay, now let's go to my 2 novellas. I read Down Among the Sticks and Bones and Every Heart a Doorway, which you should actually flip flop those, which are book 1 and book 2 in the Home for Wayward Children series by Shawnee McGuire. I gave Every Heart a Doorway 4 stars. While I enjoyed it, I didn't fangirl like all of BookTube did. And I found that it took me about 3 to 4 chapters before I got into it. And this is a very short book. It's well under 200 pages. So a majority of the book was all the way, it was like almost done by the time I got into it. But I did enjoy it. And so I gave it 4 stars. And Down Among the Sticks and Bones is the sequel. It tells Jack and Jill's story, who we meet in Every Heart a Doorway. And I loved this book from the moment I picked it up to the moment I put it down. I just wanted more, more, more. I really saw this one more as a movie or TV show. I really wish they would come out and do something with it. It had illustrations. I hope every other book in this series has illustrations because it really did add to giving me a feel for what the characters would look like and the clothes that they were wearing. And I really did enjoy that book. And that was for Booktubeathon. And I do have a vlog, which I will link down below if you want to see my process of reading it. Okay, now on to my regular books. Let's do my finish uppers. These are books that I read and started in June, but I didn't finish them and finished them at the very beginning of July. Up first is Our Dark Duet by Victoria Schwab. This is the second and final book in the Monsters of Verity duology. I do have a review. I gave this duology overall a 4.5. I enjoyed this way less than the first one. I felt kind of like it took a little too long to get to the story, but if you want to hear my complete thoughts, I will have that in the cards, my review. And Ramona Blue by Julie Murphy. I read this for Diversity Bingo 2017. It tells a story of a girl nicknamed Ramona Blue who has spent her whole life thinking she was a lesbian until one of her childhood best friends comes back to where she lives and they start rekindling their friendship and they slowly fall in love. And even though it had a lot of controversy, in my opinion, I liked the book and I didn't see anything as problematic. But I would say go and get some Own Voices reviews if you're still shaky about whether or not to read this a book. That's always that would always be my recommendation. If there's a book that you've heard like some negative things about and you're kind of iffy to go into it, always check for Own Voices reviews and check multiple Own Voices reviews. Okay, now the books that I read in completely in July. Okay, 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. I'm pretty sure what everybody knows about this book at this point because of the Netflix TV show, but 13 Reasons Why tells the story of this boy, Clay, who gets a box of 13 tapes on his porch. When he opens it up, he realizes that they are 13 cassette tapes from Hannah Baker, who is a girl at his school who recently committed suicide. And these are the 13 reasons why she says she committed suicide. I gave this a 4 star because it kept me up all night. Like, I literally could not put the book down, and I did half and half. I read the first half and I listened to the audiobook of the second half, and it is my recommendation that the audiobook is the best way to go, because when I was reading, their dialogues would sometimes intermingle, like Hannah's in the past and Clay's present, and I would be reading and get lost because I'd be like, hold up, I thought I was reading Clay's and it had switched to Hannah's. But with the audiobook, you have two different narrators, and I just particularly like the audiobook way better. I give this a 4 star, though I couldn't give it 5 because it I felt like none of the characters were likable. It romanticized suicide. Hannah was emotionally manipulative, putting that much blame on these people, whereas I felt sometimes what they did wasn't that bad. I just I liked nobody there really but Tony, and Tony had like a little tiny small like portion of the book, so I had to give it 4 stars. And my last book that I read of the month was If I Was Your Girl by Meredith Russo, and I gave it 5 stars. And this tells the story of Amanda, who is coming to stay with her dad because while she was at her old school, an accident happened because she is a trans woman, and I guess she feels like it'd be safer to move with her father. And when she's there, she falls in love with this boy, and her secret is revealed because she goes to this school as a complete, like, clean slate. She doesn't tell anybody that she is trans. And I just loved this book so much. I knew I would. It was one of those things where I wanted to kick myself for waiting for a year to read it because I knew it was going to be good last year when I heard about it. But it was so amazing. I wish that there was more. It was heartbreaking but beautiful at the same time. And um, I just I need to stop because I would talk about this book and the video would be like 30 minutes of me just talking about If I Was Your Girl. So those are all the books that I read and graphic novels um last month. So in the comment section down below, let me know a book that you enjoyed from July. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please follow me on all of my social medias, which will be linked in the description down below. And I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers by the end of the year. So please click that subscribe button and leave a check mark. And as always, until we meet again.